Hello, everybody. This is Card Guy Chris Ellis,
Well, Collectible Chris.
and we're going to talk about our predictions for
The 2024 MLB season, as well as a special announcement and also to remembrance after the news for today. So we're going to do our standings predictions first, so for both the AL and the NL, and then we'll talk about our top three picks for the preseason, basically for the MLB on awards. We could have done this a little bit sooner, but unfortunately I had to work a lot, which I'll talk about later, everything else. So we'll start off with the AL, and we'll go from East, Central, then West, same way as the NL, as well as awards. So starting off with the AL East, in fifth place I got the Blue Jays. I just think the Blue Jays lacked on so much movement this past offseason. I mean, they had key additions, but really not helping their bullpen or starting rotation. So I feel like the Blue Jays is going to hit fifth. Fourth, I got the Rays. I think the Rays have a little bit more talent on the bat, but they lost a lot of key figures on the pitching rotation. Number three, I got the Red Sox. I just think the Red Sox will bounce back. They will just barely miss the playoffs, but I think they'll hit it. Number two, I got the Orioles. I think they're the best team in the East, but I think the Yankees have a better bats, especially when it comes to power, as well as better defense this upcoming year. So I feel like the Yankees will be number one, and the Orioles will make the playoffs.
Yeah, from last year I picked the Rays to finish first. Now this year I finished them to finish fifth. Then I got the Red Sox in fourth. I got the Blue Jays in third. I like how Vlad looked in the spring training. And if they can get those other bats to go, it'd be good. Number two, I got the Yankees. I like the addition that Juan Santo has brought. And number one, I'm going with the Orioles. I think they'll easily win the division. I think the wild card are probably coming out of the East too. I think I'll pick the Yankees to do that. So to come out of that. So who you got next?
For the Central, me and you both have fifth and first right, and we kind of mixed around on everyone else. Well, actually, Tigers and Guardians is who we switched on. Fifth, I got the White Sox. They got talent. It's just that it's not a cohesive unit, and it really hurts, especially since they got MVP caliber player on their team. Four, I got the Guardians. I feel like they slacked a lot on their bullpen, and they got the people to hit, including a MVP caliber person in Jose Ramirez. Number three, I got the Royals. I think the Royals will have a bounce back year after last season. They still got the experience of Salvador Perez. They got the experience of rotation, and they got a lot of young guys that know how to hit for contact, not for power. So a lot of that 2012 to 2016 Royals team with just speed and contact hitting. So I got the Royals in three. Two, I got the Tigers, and I think they can get a wild card spot. And I think they're being slept on. They got the talent, they got the young pitching, and they got bats that are now coming around, especially in Riley Green and Torkelson, which I think it will help the team. And number one, I got the Twins. I just still think they're the dominant team in the Central.
Yeah, unfortunately, my White Sox are going to probably finish last. They might not be the worst team in baseball, but they're going to be close to it. Number four, I got the Tigers. They're going to be battling with the Royals in that number three spot. I just think the Royals have a little bit better hitting wise than Detroit. Number two, I got the Guardians. I think with Jose Ramirez and that team, a bunch of experienced guys. It's going to be a big loss to lose their manager that they had for several years. But I think they're still, I think possibly they will definitely be the wild card out of the AL Central. And number one, I got the Twins. I just think the Twins, if they can keep Byron Buxton healthy and have him do what he does best, they should be a way improved team. And if Royce Lewis can come back healthier, definitely be a better team. So I think that's, I don't think we had too much, difference in that one.
Yeah. And with the West, fifth place, I got the A's. I don't think they'll be the worst team in baseball, but they'll be the worst in the AL still. They got a bunch of great talent, great speed. It's always got to be pitching when it comes down to it. I just don't see a lot of aspirations among that pitching staff. Number 4, I got the Angels. Losing Shohei is going to hurt them. I really think that the young pitcher that they got, Zach.
Detmers?
Yeah, I think he'll
I
be.
like him.
I think he'll be a great rookie.
Well, he's not really a rookie.
Well, not him. The one that was a prospect from last year
Oh,
that came up. Ben.
yeah, I forgot what his name was. Ben.
Oh, Ben Joyce. Ben Joyce.
Yeah.
I like Ben Joyce. I think he's gonna be coming to A's for the Angels in the next few years. They got my Trout, but if you can name me another player on that team, I'll be impressed. Number 3, I got the Astros. I just think the Astros are just a way different team this year. I think they rely heavily on their offense, and they kind of slack on their defense. Their pitcher rotation's great. Their bullpen needs some major work. Number 2, I got the Mariners. I think the Mariners are the most balanced team when it comes to competitive offense, defense. But number 1 is going to be the awesome power of the Rangers. I think the Rangers still carry so much power, and if DeGrom can come back and be the pitcher he needs to be, the Rangers are unstoppable in the West.
Yeah, of course, I got the A's in last. It's unfortunate for our organization. 4 is the Angels. Otani is going to be a big miss. I got the 3. I got the Mariners, though obviously they could take over second. I just think they need to add a couple more pieces, and then definitely they'll be the second best team. Astros got the pitching, whether the hitting and their bullpen comes around, that's going to be a thing. I just think the Rangers from top to bottom are just going to be a scary team in that West.
All right, we want to do predictions on NL next before we do awards.
Go ahead and mark our wild card teams.
All right, so I think we both said.
Yeah. I got Guardians.
You got Guardians. How many wild card teams? 3.
Yeah, there's 3, but I think I'm gonna put. I think the Astros are gonna miss the playoffs.
Okay, so you think the Astros?
So I think the Royals will have the 3rd place wild card.
Okay. I think Tigers. So I got Orioles, Tigers, Mariners. You got Guardians, Royals, Yankees.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. So moving on to our NL standings. National League East, I got the Nationals being dead last, and I think they're gonna be the worst team in my opinion.
Definitely could be. They got some good pitching.
They got good pitching coming up, but I don't think they'll come up until later on this year and won't help them in the standings. They got great young bats and young speed, especially with Stone Garrett and Victor Robles. But I just think that their contact needs improvement. They really need a veteran guy to come in and help out. Number 4, I got the Mets. They still got the same bats that they do. Their bullpen has not really improved or showed great improvement. Number 3, I got the Phillies. I think the Phillies will miss the playoff by a smidge because the next team, I think they are the most slept-on team in the Marlins. The Marlins came out of nowhere last year, and if Josh Chisholm and Tim Anderson come back up from their MVP caliber seasons with a healthy Josh Chisholm too, the Marlins will be unstoppable. But number 1, the Braves being arguably the best team in baseball with healthy Acuna, healthy Olsen, healthy Strider, even a healthy Fried, and a bullpen that holds on teams, it's going to be a very tough to go against the Braves.
Yeah, I got the Nationals definitely in 5th. I got the Mets in 4th. I got the Marlins 3rd. I like that young pitching staff. Also like 2s, I got the Phillies. And the 1, I got like the Braves. I think the Braves and the Phillies will definitely be coming out of the East. So Phillies will have the wild card. Braves will have the thing. Go ahead and go for this one. I think we got a little bit more.
We arguably this is where we arguably disagree, except for the number 2 team. Number 5, I got the Cardinals. I just think the Cardinals, they got the experience. It's just that they are slacking so much, and I don't know if it's due to money or they just have no confidence, but they just do not have a lot of help. And from last season to this season, I just don't think they really improved. Number 4, I got the Cubs. The Cubs are stacked, but I think this is the kind of division that kind of hurts you to where you face the teams that you know, but at the same time, you can either win or you'll lose a series. Number three, I got the Reds. I think the Reds are arguably one of the best young, talented teams, and they got good pitching. And we just need Elliott to really improve from his bat from after the All-Star break, as well as their young talent to actually move up since they don't have Votto anymore. So India taking a leadership role, or even Tyler Stevenson. Number two, I got the Pirates, who are 4-0 right now, but I think the Pirates, even before the season, is a scary young team. It's just like the Orioles last year. I think they would do it, but number one, I got to give it to the Brewers. I think they're the most complete team in that division, and I think that they would take it. And I got the Pirates winning on the wild card.
Yeah, I got the Reds fifth. Everybody's really high on them. A lot of people have them as their NL Central favorite, but I think they still need more pieces. The four, the Brewers, they've just lost so much pitching the last couple of years. Three, I got the Cardinals. They're going to be one of those. It's either going to be they're going to be above what they are or below. I think three is a good medium. The second place, I got the Pirates. They'll make the wild card. I think they're a team that should do well. As long as they don't do what they did last time, a couple of years ago, when they were really hot and then they just crumbled. I think the Cubs, number one. I just like what they did. I think getting Cody Bellinger back was their best thing. So I got the Cubs and the Pirates, and the Pirates is my wild card.
We basically like flip flopped on everybody on the NL West. So five, I got the Giants, and the NL West. Like, they got the talent. It's just that I just everyone that knows to actually bat against that starting lineup, and they are a little bit older in the when it comes to like team age on league. Four, I got the Padres. They got Manny Machado, which is still great, but they lost a lot of key pieces, especially key pitching. But I still think that they're better than the Giants. Number three, I got the Rockies. I think the Rockies are going to be a better complete team. Yes, Coors Field, with a heavy discussion on that field. Yes, it's hitter friendly, but at the same time, you got to know how to pitch around them, as well as you have to. The Rockies need to learn how to pitch against their other formidable enemies. Number two, I got the Dodgers. Yes, they got the addition of Shohei. They got the addition of young pitchers, as well as everything else. But I still think that number one will be the Diamondbacks. They were just a complete team last year, making it all the way to the World Series with a young Corbin Carroll, a great hitter in Ketel Marte, being the hitter that he is, still showing it at the start of the season. I just think the Diamondbacks are a better team, consistently team in the West.
I got the Padres fifth. I just think certain things go and have them going in a different direction. The four, I got the Rockies. Three, I got the Giants. I like that they got Soler. I like Chapman's addition. I also like that they got Snell. So the D-backs are number two. I think they'll continue doing what they were doing. And number one, I got the Dodgers. But I don't think, I mean, they look good on paper, but are they going to win the World Series this year? I don't think so. So I've got the Dodgers winning the division and D-backs finishing in the wild card.
All right. So do we just want to go back and forth?
That's fine.
Okay. So we're going to now do
Don't
our
forget wild card.
Oh, for your Diamondbacks? Okay, my bad. And Dodgers will get the wild card for me. So, all right. So next is going to be our award predictions. We're going to do top three. This is just our top three and who we think will win. So the list is not really like permanent. It'll always change, especially when we do mid-season, as well as the week before the actual awards are announced. So for MVP number three, I got Luis Robert Jr. for Chicago. I just think he'll have a great year, especially coming off a two-run homer game against the Tigers. I mean, his bat is more consistent. He's seeing the ball a little bit better. I just think he'll have a MVP caliber run. Number two, I'm going with the former Rookie of the Year, Gunnar Henderson. I think with him now being a pro instead of a rookie, he's got to outshine as best as he can, especially in that division. He knows the pitching in the AL. He'll do tremendously. And number one, I got my boy Judge to be number one. To be number one right now, I just think that he's just a caliber team. He always has a slow start, and once he builds it up, he's just unstoppable. I just think Judge will be back in his MVP status.
Yeah, I got Jose Ramirez from Cleveland, number 3. I think he's just one of the most unsung players. Number 2, I got Julio Rodriguez from Seattle. I think he'll have a great year, and I think Judge will, at number 1, will have a great year just because of the guy hitting in front of him. Takes a lot of walks, has a good eye at the plate. So I think that will be, when all is said and done, Judge will be probably the MVP for the American League.
All right, so NL MVP. At third, I got Shohei. I got him third instead of second or first because he is mainly going to be a DHer instead of DHing and pitching like he'll be next year that they're projected to. Shohei will have great numbers, but to me, I think he needs to adjust to NL pitching because let's face it, the National League is better pitching than American League. So Shohei will be seeing a lot more diversity in pitching. So I think Shohei needs to prove himself. Number 2, I got his teammate Freddie Freeman. Freeman knows the National League through and through. He always has a great batting average, but I think he will hit more for power this year, so he can prove that he should be number 1. But number 1, I still got Ronald Acuna Jr. I just think he's still the dominant batter that he is in the league that can still and also have pitchers pitching. So Ronald Acuna, back-to-back MVP.
Number 3 for mine is Ozzie Albies. I think he'll be a little upset that he was not on the top 10 of second baseman in the MLB Now best second baseman. Acuna Jr., I got number 2. He'll still have a great year. Possibly could be number 1, but I think Nolan Jones of Colorado will be a reason why the Rocky fans definitely go out there to watch him. So I think Nolan Jones will be NL MVP.
Okay. Rookies of the year for the AL. Number 3, I got my Yankee boy Austin Wells, catcher. He has had a good start of the season, hitting the way he is. A great prospect for the Yankee organization that finally came up. I just think him taking up the role as starting catcher will be great, especially learning from Kyle. I just think he'll be dominant. My number 2, once he gets called up, I think he'll make headlines across the Major League in Jackson Holiday. Great spring training. Just went back down just so he can develop a little bit more. But I just think he'll just carry out. And my number 1, even though it's the worst team in the AL, I'm giving it to Zach Gelof. He showed a lot of promise last year, is still considered to be a rookie this year. So with him already having the experience in his league, he's going to be phenomenal in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Colt Montgomery, shortstop from the White Sox. Very talented prospect, probably one of the reasons why they would let Tim Anderson go to the Marlins. Evan Carter, left fielder for the Texas Rangers, a lot of people's pick. But I got another outfielder for the Texas Rangers, Wyatt Langford, very, very professional hitter, very good eye at the plate, knows how to take his walks. So number 1 for me is Langford from the Rangers.
No, I will agree with that too. National League, our lists are highly different. Number 3, when he comes up, I think he'll be a great defensive catcher. Definitely the catcher that this team needs. The Nationals, Drew Millis. Great spring training session, really threw out people. I think they'll try and move him over to first, though, just so they can give the actual catcher some time off and everything. But Drew knows how to hit for contact, has a very good eye on the plate, and also knows how to get his pitchers out of the jam. Really uses his timeouts well. Former catcher turning outfielder Henry Davis. I just think Davis has a lot of high on him, and I just think he knows how to deliver. He is slowly progressing, and if they don't need him as catcher, I have him as an outfielder, which is perfect for his size. And number 1, even though he is seen as overrated, especially at the end of the year that he had, I still think Elliott has a lot of spark in him, and that he will just control the National League among rookies.
Yeah, for number 3, I got Luis Angel Acuna, who is Ronald Acuna's brother, younger brother, shortstop for the Mets. I got him at number 3. Jackson Chirino, a top prospect for the Brewers. I got him at number 2. He's an outfielder but can play infield. And then Yoshio Yamatada from the Dodgers as number 1, even though he hasn't done so hot for his first couple of games, but he's probably getting used to National League hitters. So we'll see how that goes. So I got Yamamoto as my number 1 for the National League.
Cy Young Award winners. AL, number 3, I got Marcus Stroman. Not a hot start against the Astros, but I think Stroman going from the Cubs to the Yankees, I think it will show a lot of work, especially since he still has one of the most dangerous sliders in the game. Number 2, even though with his age, I still think he's a dominant pitcher. Joseph Verlander, when he comes off the IL, I think he'll still show his dominant self. And number 1, I got Corbin Burns. Moving from Milwaukee to Baltimore, being the ace that Baltimore really needs at this time. Also a help. Grayson Rodriguez develop his breaking stuff. Corbin is definitely the guy to help him.
Yeah, number 3, I got Christian Javier from Houston. 2, I got Luis Castillo from the Mariners. And number 1, I got Corbin Burns, too. I think Corbin's going to be the 8. He's definitely going to have a stellar season with Baltimore.
For the NL Cy Young, I got Merrill Kelly for Arizona. Just a old glove that should get the recognition that he deserves, especially the quality starts he always give over the years. I just think he'll be a top contender for Cy Young. Number 2, I got Strider. I still think that his command still needs to work on. He still has that fastball and that slider, but once his confidence dips down, he just does not have that same control as he needs to. That's why number 1, I'm going to give it to Justin Steele. I just think Steele will progress from his rookie year to his sophomore year. I just think he has great control, especially for a pitcher like the slurve that he delivers. He will do well. He did get hurt, but outside of that, I think he'll come back and be as strong as ever.
Number 3, I got Zach Gallen from Arizona. I think he's always does real well. He's a control guy, does well. Number 2, even though the Cardinals, I feel, are going to finish in 3rd, I got Sonny Gray in the top 3. I think Sonny Gray is a great season. And then I got Strider for the Braves since he didn't win it last year. I think there'll be like here he didn't win it last year. Here's the award this year. So,
all right. So for Coach of the Year for AL, at 3rd, I got AJ Hinch for Detroit. Detroit has had a very interesting start to the season, and I think with him having a young team, a young coordinating team, it would help out. Number 2, I got Brandon Hunt for Baltimore. Hyde did tremendous last year. It would not surprise me because he won Coach of the Year last year, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, so back-to-back, I highly believe it. But number 1, I got Aaron Boone. With just the key pieces that the Yankees needed to get this offseason, especially Soto. And y'all know I'm not a big Juan Soto guy, but he does eat pitches. He does know how to take his walks, and that he strikes out. It's a rarity. So I have it that way.
Yeah, I got Brandon Hyde from Baltimore, number 3. Can't go wrong there because with any of these guys. 2, I got Bruce Bochy from the Rangers. And then number 1, I got Rocco Baldelli from the Twins. So that would be the top 3 there.
National League, we actually agreed on. Just flip-flopped on, too. Number 3, I got Derek Shelton for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh having a hot start that they have so far with a young team. And Derek just being the manager he is, I think he'll carry that team to a playoff berth. Number 2, I got Torey Lovullo for Arizona. Got Arizona to the World Series last year, and I think them losing on the road will just drive them. And number 1, I got Brian Sticker for Atlanta. I mean, he's been multiple-time manager of the year, and just the way he manages that all-star studded Braves team is always incredible.
Yeah, number 3, I got Lovello from Arizona. Can't say enough for him. He does very well with that team. 2, I got Shelton from Pittsburgh. I think they're going to be definitely there towards and then I got Snicker, number 1. I mean, Snicker probably could won it every year so far. So
exactly. Comeback players of the year. Number 3, I got my Trout. Even though he had the homers that he needed last year, I think he'll hit better with batting average, especially coming from multiple injuries in the past few years. Number 2, I'm going with another White Sox. I'm going with Eloy Jimenez. Compared to his last 2 years, he really did not have the hits or the average compared to the year before. And Eloy has had a decent start, so I think Eloy will be back to the hitter that he was. And number 1, I gotta give it to Jacob DeGrom. DeGrom stays healthy and stays dominant like he was 2 years ago for the Mets, and transfers over to the Rangers. So with that season-ending injury, hopefully he'll be back to the All-Star that he is.
Number 3, Javier Baez for Detroit. I think he'll have a comeback offensive season, especially now that the offense is a little bit more spread out in the team with Riley Green and all them. I think the next 2 are for Toronto. Alex Manoah, I think, will bounce back from last year. He had a pretty devastating year last year. And then George Springer, number 1. I think he was really upset how his play was, statistically was, and then in his spring training he was definitely doing better on the offensive side. So George Springer, I got number 1 for the American League Comeback Player of the Year.
Okay. Honestly, let me take him off my list because I actually liked how you did O'Neal. Because he won MVP, he wouldn't technically be a comeback player.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, I got Jazz Chisholm. Just injuries that keeps on happening to him, and he always has decent numbers. But you get him healthy, he's just a strong candidate to be one of the best players in the league. So Jazz Chisholm being comeback player of the year is highly sought after. Number 2, I got O'Neal Cruz for Pittsburgh. Just a tall guy that's slender, that knows that looks like a star-studded player. Just needs to work on his hitting and also work a little bit on his power in order to be the star player that he needs to become. And number 1, I got Max Fried. Fried just needs to be in control and just needs to stay healthy. Just needs to worry about his innings. He is a great pitcher. He just needs to focus on actually just being controlled on his pitching, and if he stays controlled on his pitching, he'll have more wins than he ever does.
Number 3, I got Max Fried for Atlanta. He needs to pitch the contact, period. Let the outfield and the infield do their jobs, Number 2 for Cincinnati, I got Hunter Green. He doesn't need to throw a fastball every time to get people out. So, let's protect the young man, I think Hunter Green's got a lot of potential and a lot of upside, but just something about Cincinnati. And number 1, I got O'Neal Cruz, I think, for Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh's going to do the jump that we all think it's going to do, he's going to be a big reason for it. And that's our top. Who do you think is going to go to the World Series?
We had 2 teams that we did not ever think of that will make it to the World Series last year.
Yep.
So I'm going to do a realistic, and then I'm going to do a dream. Okay. So dream World Series, I would love to see the Braves versus the Rangers. The 2 star-studded teams of both leagues going against each other. But realistically, I think the Rangers are going back, but I think there's going to be another surprise team. I'm going to say Rangers versus Pittsburgh.
Oh.
I think because considering the fact last year Diamondbacks being that young, hungry team that just wants to strive to be the best, and then you got Pittsburgh who is on that high right now. I would love to see a young team in Pittsburgh be in the World Series for the first time in a while. So, dream Rangers versus Braves with the Braves winning, but the actual reality Rangers versus Pittsburgh with the Rangers winning within 7.
I would like to see the Baltimore Orioles and the Atlanta Braves in the World Series.
Ooh, okay.
I think that would be awesome to watch. Even Texas and the Braves would be awesome to watch. You can put both your predictions if you want, your dream in your.
Okay.
That way you could say you at least, But yeah, I'm gonna stay with the Orioles and Braves. I think the Braves will win in 7. I think it'll go 7 games. That's. I think Orioles Braves. Yeah. I mean, Rangers Pirates would be a good series. That would definitely get some things in there. So, yep. And this young man has some good news to tell everybody out there in collectible Chris world. So I'll let my man take over from here.
All right, so y'all know I work in a car shop in Mississippi, and I've been doing that for 2 years. I'm in charge of the single cards, and our assistant manager left, a great guy that works on the magic stuff. But my manager, my supervisor, and the owner have talked very highly of me, especially this past year dealing with the cards, and so they've given me the assistant manager position in our Harrisburg location, and I've been in the position for 2 weeks now. And the reason why we haven't done the show as often as we used to, because we try to do an episode every week. I'm in a transition to where I am dropping one more part-time, and I am working the shop full-time. So I'm working Wednesday through Sunday at our location, and it's just been it's really awesome. It's actually made me less stressed and more relaxed now, which is amazing. I feel really relaxed compared to what I've been doing for the past year. And you can ask my dad, you can ask my mom, you can ask my wife. So the fact that I'm actually living a dream right now is great. I never thought I would actually become an assistant manager to a card shop. So kind of going back on that, since he basically worked a collectible store as well. So it's very awesome that I've had the opportunity. So I won't say the owner's name, but to Sean, my supervisor at the Biloxi location, and to my manager Jared, thank you for the opportunity. I highly appreciate it.
Yep. And we'll have this thing up tonight and everything. So
all right, two things. In the football world, let's do the less depressing one first. Congrats to Matthew Stafford on a great career. I hate the fact that the Rams have lost 2 people due to retirement, but Stafford, honestly, I think he did the right thing in actually ending his career back in Detroit. I don't think everyone actually realized that when he announced his retirement, he ended it with a match against his former team. So, Stafford, I think you are a Hall of Fame caliber player. You've definitely thrown a lot of yards and a lot of TDs to Megatron. With your teammate being in the Hall of Fame, I think you deserve to be in it too. You are a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Should have been MVP a few years, in my opinion. You got the numbers. Congratulations on a great career. Was just told earlier today that Vontae Davis, a former defensive player, played for the Colts, Dolphins, and the Bills, sadly passed away at the age of 35. Very young age for a former player. Very sad for him and his family. So prayers out to y'all. And I don't think you've announced the card show, have you?
no, not yet.
Oh,
Next week.
Because I'm already confirmed. You just want to wait till you.
Until I get confirmed. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so might have a new announcement the next time we go. I'm still compiling my list for the top 5 greatest transitions in wrestling history. So I'm pretty sure that has had his mind on that too. Anyway, so I got nothing else.
Okay. Well, I got nothing else either. Just look on the lookout for Collectible Chris and my stuff. Of course, we're on Instagram. I'm at Colossal Panther. Also on Facebook and YouTube with, of course, our show and everything. So we'll be talking to you later. I don't think we got anything else.
Just stay safe.
Stay safe, everybody, and we'll be talking to you next week. All right? This is Card Guy Chris Ellis.
Well, Collectible Chris.
And have a good week. Bye.